I'm Jodi Levine, author of Candy Isle Crafts and a crafter, and I have a blog called Super Make It. I love looking at things and seeing what else they can be. You might see a Necco wafer, but I see a flower petal. I worked at Martha Stewart Living for over 19 years, and I was a craft editor, and it was like working in a creative laboratory, so I've really honed my craft skills over there. I think if you can take something, an everyday item, and make it look really beautiful, and I love the challenge of that, and I do just have a thing for those plain, kind of basic, everyday materials of my childhood, because I just remember them at my grandma's house. And I feel like I could come up with ideas forever. This is something that I love to do. I think I will never stop doing it. I hope to make cake toppers for my grandkids one day. Hi, I'm Jodi Levine, and I'm going to show you how to make super cute cake and cupcake toppers made out of store-bought cookies. And they're really, really easy. All the ingredients are things that you could find at your supermarket, store-bought cookies, and they make a really simple cake really special. These cookie cake toppers are so easy to make and so much fun. Let me show you how. I'm going to show you how to make some really cute planet cookies that are great toppers for cakes and cupcakes. And they're so easy and fun to make, and all the materials are available from your supermarket, and they're so perfect if you have a kid who's obsessed with planets like my boys are. Here's what you need. You'll need a baking sheet lined with some wax paper, some cookies, plain ones, plain circular ones work best, sanding sugars. You'll need some white chocolate, and you're going to melt that in a double boiler. And a little vegetable oil, which is optional in case it's too thick. And I use a bowl and a pan for my double boiler. You can do it in the microwave, but I feel I have a little more control when you do it in the double boiler. And then I have clean paintbrushes that I'm going to paint the chocolate on before I sprinkle the sanding sugar. And I'm also going to pipe some of it on for a different look in the stripes. And for that, I don't even use real piping bags. I just use a resealable sandwich bag, and I'll show you how to fill that up with the chocolate in a minute. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some water boiling for my double boiler. I'm just going to set the bowl on top of the water. I'm going to break these up a little bit more because that makes the melting go faster. If you are going to use a double boiler, make sure that the bowl is above the water. You don't want any steam or water going into the bowl because that'll wreck your chocolate. So, and these are 2 4-ounce bars of chocolate. Once I get it broken up and it starts melting, I'm going to just stir it. That'll speed the process along. And if you don't want to break it up by hand, you can just chop it up. Okay, that's pretty good. So I'm going to take a little spatula and stir it. Okay, this is starting to get hot. I just sort of scrape down the sides because if you mix the melted chocolate in with the unmelted pieces, it speeds it up. You should use a metal or a Pyrex bowl for this. Something heat-proof. All right, it's getting close. There are a few chunks left in there, and I'll take it off the heat in a minute. It doesn't need to be fully melted, but it should be just a couple of little chunks left. Okay, there's just a few little chunks left, so I think I'm going to take it off the heat and bring it over to my workspace. It looks nice and smooth. So for these cookies, I'm going to use half of the chocolate in a bowl to paint it on. So I'm going to pour a little bit of chocolate and I'm going to spoon it into this bowl. Okay, so that's good. You don't need to get a piping bag. You could just use a reclosable sandwich bag. And I take it with one of the corners. I take one corner, I put my finger in one corner and put that one corner down into a juice glass. And then I bring the edges of the bag over. This is going to make it really easy to fill. And you can see that the corner is in the center of that. So now I'm going to spoon some of the melted chocolate into that. Okay. Great. So now I'll take that out of the juice glass and I'm going to hold it right above the chocolate and take a twist tie. You can also use a rubber band. And twist that really tightly. And then you can zip it closed. Okay, now for the fun part. So I'm going to put some cookies down. I'll just start with one. I'm going to cut the tip of this bag open. Just a little bit. You could always enlarge the hole. It's better to start small. Okay, so this is sometimes the first cookie is a tester cookie. If the chocolate's too loose, it flies out of the bag. So I'm just going to consider this a tester cookie. So I'm going to, yeah, it's coming out really quick, but it's looking kind of cool already. But while it's still warm and melty, you can sprinkle some sugar over it. And then I would lift it up to separate it. And then you could put it on off to the side. And there you have one. It's a little bit melty right now, so maybe I'll set this aside for 1 minute and I'll try the paintbrush technique. I'm going to take a cookie, take the clean paintbrush, dip it in the chocolate, and just make really wide stripes. I kind of curve them so it looks like a round planet. And this is something I discovered by accident. If you really load up the brush, once you're brushing your stripe on, it makes 2 stripes on the sides and looks sort of cool. So I like that. I think I'll add another couple of stripes at the top. Okay, I'm going to put that guy down and put some sanding sugar on him. My kids really love this project. When my son turned 4, I had a planet-themed birthday party for him. This would have been such a great activity for it, but they love doing it now. They still love planets and the solar system. And they love cookies. So a perfect combination. Okay, I want to show you how to make a Saturn. I want to see if my bag has gotten a little cooler. Yeah, I think it's perfect. So you take a cookie and you go across a few times and you extend past the edges of the cookie. That's going to give you Saturn's ring. My kids were really funny when we were working on this because they wanted it to be really accurate. They wanted the colors to be accurate and they wanted to know which one was Neptune and which one was Jupiter. But here we'll do Saturn's ring. We can add some orange sanding sugar. And something fun with these is you could even go back over it and add layers and stripes. And for this one, you have to chill it before you lift it up. But these guys that don't have a ring extending off the edge of the cookie, you could lift them up and you can add another stripe to it if you want another color. So you can go back in, squeeze a stripe on, lift it up. Say I want to add a yellow stripe to this guy. And I like the way using a brush gives kind of flat areas of color, and then using the piping bag adds some thicker stripes of color. Oh, so one last technique that I want to show you, super easy, is just dipping it in the chocolate to make a crescent moon. So you just take the cookie and just roll the edge. How easy is that? And you can leave it like that, or you could sprinkle some clear sanding sugar just to make it kind of sparkly. So pretty. So that's another technique. And of course, you can coat it completely by either dipping the cookie or brushing on a whole bunch if you want to make a sun. So I'm just going to load this guy up with white chocolate and just bring it to the edges. So this is a really fun project for kids. And it doesn't have to be for a party, it could just be for a play date or a rainy day. And if you think that your chocolate is not that smooth, you can actually drop it on the table and it smooths it out. So now I'm going to sprinkle some yellow on it. And now there's excess on here, I can just shake it right back into the bowl of yellow, so I'm not wasting. And there you have the sun, the moon, and the planets. This is such a fun project to do with kids because the possibilities are endless. Layering the thin stripes and the pipe stripes and painting the whole thing and dipping. It's infinite like the universe itself and great for parties and play dates, especially for a planet-obsessed kid like mine. Now I'm going to show you how to make the easiest cupcake and cake topper using store-bought letter cookies and regular supermarket cookies, and they are such a simple way to personalize cakes and cookies. Not only are they so great for birthday parties where you could have the guest's initials or the birthday boy or girl's initials, but you can also use it for an engagement party, or you can spell out a phrase, and you can gang them up to spell out a word as well. What you'll need to make these cookie monogram cupcake toppers are some plain cookies from the supermarket. Of course you could make your own, but this is a really easy way to do it. And all different styles as long as they're the right size and kind of plain. And then letter cookies, I got some of them, these guys at Trader Joe's, and I got these at IKEA. You'll need a cake or a cupcake to put it on, and some glue. And that could be anything from royal icing. I'm using just some store-bought frosting. You can also use peanut butter or Nutella. I use a reclosable sandwich bag instead of a piping bag. So now I just take my letters and glue them on. It's so easy. If you have a bigger cookie, you can probably spell out a short name. Like my older son's name is Sam, so I'm going to spell that. So you see how I'm just squeezing it on, not covering the whole thing, because when I press it down, it's going to squeeze out a little bit. I'm going to take one of these cookies and then just press it down. Squeezing the frosting onto it. This is a fun thing for kids to help out with. And if you've ever wanted to personalize a cake but don't feel that good about your frosting skills, this is a great project. Okay, I'm using store-bought icing, and that will get a little dry and hardened, but it won't get as hard as if you use royal icing. So if you want to do this a few days in advance, it's a good idea to use royal icing. So that's done. And then these chocolate biscuits look great because the cookie really stands out. Let's do GHTV on these guys, just to show how you could spell out a phrase. GHTV, like Good Housekeeping Television. You know, I'm going to cheat it a little bit up towards the top of the cookie, because when you wedge it into a cupcake, you don't want it to cover up the letter. And then if some of the frosting sneaks out, you could just clean it up with your finger. And you can do these ahead of time, and you can stick them in the freezer. And using peanut butter or hazelnut chocolate spread, like Nutella, that would make it almost healthy. So that would make a good after-school snack. How easy is that? Ta-da! We have Sam and we have GHTV. It's so easy and so versatile. If you want to spell out an entire word like love for Valentine's Day or someone's name, you can. You could have it going across a cake or on a single cupcake. The Sam cookie is ready for its cupcake. So cute. Sam's gonna love it. I'm going to show you how to make a super easy cookie flour cake decoration. And it's a great one to get your kids helping out with, and all the ingredients you'll need are available from your supermarket. These are a great and really easy way to decorate cakes for birthday parties, holidays like Easter or Mother's Day, or a shower. What you'll need to make this is just some cookies, little round cookies. I used vanilla wafers, and some kind of little circular candies that are colorful, like M&Ms, that's what I have here, and a glue. And for the glue, you can use royal icing. Here I'm using store-bought icing. And if you want to, you could even tint it. If you're using royal icing or store-bought canned icing or homemade buttercream icing, you can put it in a piping bag. But just to keep it really, really easy, I can show you how you could just use a knife and spread it on. So let me just show you how simple it is. And again, this is a great project to get your kids helping out with, get a little production line going. So just take a little bit of frosting onto the tip of a butter knife and just spread it on. And if you're worried about it oozing out, like I said, you can tint the frosting to match the palette of your candies. And that's how easy it is. But let me show you something else. The leaves and the stems are made out of this gummy candy. It's called Sour Belt, and they sell it in the candy section of your supermarket. Sometimes it's sold in rolls, and sometimes it's sold in strips. And it's sugary and delicious. This is the stuff my kids snack on the most when I have all my candy supplies out. And then you can even, if you have little kids working on it, you can give them some safety scissors, clean ones of course, and then just cut it up into little squares or rectangles like that, and then cut out a simple leaf shape. And you can make all different sizes. You see I'm just cutting a really simple and basic leaf shape. So I'll need 2 of those for each flower. And this is a part that I think the kids will have fun with, using scissors on food. So then you'll want to make a few stems, cut off a longer piece, depending on how tall your cake is. And then just cut some very skinny strips. And that is it. If you have a freshly frosted cake, you can stick this right to the side of the cake. Okay, you see how easy that was? It makes such a great activity for a little kids party, because you could just give them a bowl of cookies and frosting and, like I said, safety scissors and some of the candy, and set it out on the table and have them cut up their own flowers and just set it on paper plates. It doesn't even have to be a cake decoration. But I have a cake that's been freshly frosted, so let me go get it. Okay, I've been applying my cookies to the cake, and it's starting to look really nice. You can see it sticks right onto the frosting. Take a look in your supermarket and see what other kinds of round cookies there are. Because shortbread cookies, round shortbread cookies with a little fluted edge would look great. Okay, so then I'm just sticking a leaf on. I'm going to put my last few on. Just going to cut it to the right size. Oops. Put on the leaves. And I love all the colors. But of course you can choose your favorite colors for this as well. This is a great cake for a springtime party or a Mother's Day brunch. And I'm almost done. So it's a great project if you want a homemade and a home decorated cake, but you don't feel great about your piping skills. This looks so cute. I think it looks really modern, like a floral textile. I love it, and anyone can do it. It's so easy, and it makes a great cake for a springtime party, a little girl's birthday party, or a Mother's Day brunch. I hope you'll try it. And I'm going to show you how to make some really cute cookie cottages. Why should gingerbread houses have all the fun? These are no bake, so they're really easy. You skip over the baking and get right to the fun part, decorating. People make them for Christmas all the time, but do you know you can make them for any occasion, for birthdays or any holiday? And they are adorable on top of a cake, so they're the perfect, sweet, and very unique cake topper. What you'll need for this project are graham crackers, about 5 or 6, but it's good to have extra for breakage. A serrated knife, a bread knife works really well, and a cutting board to cut them. Something to prop up the cookies while you're gluing them together, like a spice jar or a little can. Then you'll need for the glue, royal icing, and instead of a piping bag, you could use a piping bag, but I use a resealable sandwich bag and a twist tie. And then you just need assorted candies to cover up the roof and to make little windows and doorknobs and stuff like that. And then a piece of scrap cardboard to build it on. I just use paper plates, like a heavy paper plate. That's how I just cut a square out of it. And it's about 5 inches by 5 inches. And a spoon to fill the piping bag, and some scissors, and a juice glass, and I'll show you why that I use that to fill up the piping bag. So the first thing that you do, we're going to cut up your pieces, and first you'll need 2 peaked pieces for the pointy sides, and you just take your knife, and the nice thing about graham crackers is they have these little holes in them, so I just go 2 holes down, and from the middle point is where I start my angle up to the 2 holes down, and I just saw it really gently. So I'm not using any downward pressure, I'm just sawing it very, very gently. That made a really nice clean cut. And then you'll do the same thing on the other side, going from that starting point of 2 holes down to the center. And honestly, every brand of graham cracker is a little bit different. So if you're making a whole bunch of these for a party, you're going to want to make one and just make sure that the dimensions work and it fits the roof. You'll need 2 pieces peaked like this. So I'm going to move on and show you that you'll need 2 side pieces for your house, and this is really easy. You just cut it right in half, right on the dotted line. And then you'll need 2 more pieces, same size, for the roof. Oops. And you'll need some for breakage, like I said. So I'm going to cut another piece. And it helps to go really straight on that, so your pressure is even all over. And if you have broken pieces, I like to save them because I'll cut doors out of them. So let me show you how to do that. So I'm just going to cut a little rectangle out of one of my broken pieces. Nothing goes to waste. If you have little kids, you can just pre-make all of this stuff for them, glue it together, and then they can decorate. But older kids can do the building too. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to fill up your piping bag. And if you have a piping bag, great, but you really don't need it. I take a sandwich size reclosable bag. I put my finger into one corner and then stick it right into the center of a juice glass, and then pull the bag down the sides of the glass. This is just a really easy way to fill it. And then spoon some of your royal icing into it. If you have a royal icing recipe that you like, I would try making it a little thicker because you're using this as a glue. You're going to want it just like a little thinner than toothpaste. If your store doesn't have royal icing, they'll have all the ingredients that you need for making it. Egg white powder, also known as meringue powder, confectioner sugar, and water. That's all you need. Okay. So now you lift the sides back up and then pinch the bag right above where the frosting is. And take your twist tie and tie it really, really tightly. You can also use a rubber band. And then close the zipper. And when you're ready, you'll snip off the end. So I'm gonna snip this open, and I'm just gonna start with a small hole at first. It's always better safe than sorry. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna rest it here. First thing you'll do is take either your peaked side or your flat wall side and glue it to your piece of scrap cardboard. And you'll glue along the bottom. Oops. And then the can or a spice jar, just put it right there to prop it up and lean it there. Then you'll take a peaked piece and you'll put some of your royal icing glue along the bottom and one side. Okay, and it's really, really important that you put it on the inside of the flat wall. The peaked piece needs to go on the inside because the roof is the width of the flat sides. So you'll need the roof to match the side width of the house can't get wider than the side wall. So you need to glue this peaked piece on the inside. And don't worry if there's little blobs, you can just wipe it off as you go. So now you can remove your can and glue your other side on. So that for this, you'll put some icing along the bottom. And let's see, you can put some along the side. And I just want to reiterate that this peaked piece is on the inside. So the width of the house will be the width of 1 graham cracker. That way, the roof will fit perfectly. And then you put your last piece on. Now, royal icing, depending on how wet it is, takes about an hour, probably at least an hour to dry. So you'll want to set this aside, but that's okay because we have other stuff to work on. And the last piece is the last peaked piece. You may have to open up your house a little bit to squeeze it in there. And now before it dries, just make sure you like where everything is. Move it around if you need to. And these blobs, just wipe them right off with your finger. Or if you're making a snowy house, you can leave them or cover them up with frosting icicles later. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna set that aside to dry very carefully. And now I'm gonna show you how to tile your roof. This is my favorite part. Do you remember Necco wafers from when you were a kid? I love the way those look, and they're such great roof tiles. So for this, you'll just squeeze out one stripe of glue across the bottom. And you can use other stuff like chewing gum. Sticks of chewing gum work really well, but you could use almond slices, sunflower seeds, jelly beans, anything. So many things are great for roof tiles. M&Ms. So the first row will have 3, and for the second row, you're gonna put a smaller stripe because you're only gonna put 2. You're gonna alternate between 3 and 2. And I'm alternating between white and pink Necco wafers. So you see how I stagger it? I put this Necco wafer in between, so it's kind of staggered. This Necco wafer in between the 2 in the row below it. And then the next row is gonna have a wider stripe. kind of messy, but messy fun. And put my last one, and I overlap them just like real roof tiles. And I love the scallopy look. I think it's so cute. Okay, and now my last row of pinks. Okay. Okay, I think that looks so pretty. So now I'm going to do the next one and then let those dry. And you'll probably have to let that dry. There's a lot of icing on there, so you'll have to let that dry for probably at least an hour. So I'm going to set these aside because I have some pieces that are already dry. A house on the cardboard and 2 roof pieces. This part is really satisfying. Take your glue, your royal icing glue, and squeeze out a line of icing all around the edge, the top edge of the house. There you go. And don't worry about these little drips. You can either wipe them away or we can call them icicles. Okay, now I'm going to do the same on this side. Squeeze out the glue and add the last roof piece. Great. Once you have them on there, just for added strength, I like to add one more line of glue across the top. And because I like to cover that up, I'll add one more row of Necco wafers across the top. I think white would look nice here. 1, 2. Okay, I think I need a little extra glue there. How sweet is that? It's very Hansel and Gretel-y. Okay, so now we need to add the door that we cut earlier. Okay, just gonna add some glue to that. Press that on to the house. Just hold it there for 30 seconds or so. And I like to put a little attic window on, and I'm always hoarding candy, so I'll have candy from all different holidays. I always have all different kinds of candy, so I check my stash and see what would be cute. For this one, I thought one of the conversation hearts left over from Valentine's Day, so I'm going to glue that on. Okay. And I'm just going to hold that in place for just a minute while it sets. Okay, and now we need a doorknob, of course. Any of the tiny candies that you have in your candy stash would work, like a Red Hot or a mini M&M. I have some mini red M&Ms here that I'm going to use. So just squeeze on a little bit. Okay, I'm going to glue the little doorknob on. So cute. Wouldn't that be so adorable for a little girl's birthday party, like a doll party, a little tiny doll house? You could make a little tiny bird house for a bird theme party. The possibilities are endless. Okay, our little house is dry and looking really cute. So it's time to pop it off the cardboard and put it onto the cake. You just have to be really careful. Okay, it's coming off pretty well, but if you need to, you can run a knife underneath it. This is gonna look so cute on top of our cake. These cookie cottages are so much fun to make and look adorable, and they're great for any occasion. So get lots of different kinds of candy and get really creative with yours and have a great time making them. I'm going to show you how to make a really cute cookie strawberry, and it makes a great cupcake topper, and it's super easy. Everything you need to make it is available at your supermarket. Here's what you'll need. Sliced almonds, plain round cookies like these chocolate wafers, mini chocolate chips, Nutella, and big chocolate chips, and some strawberries. The first thing you're going to do is take your cookie and frost it with the Nutella. Yum. I love Nutella. It's so yummy. Okay, just set that down here. And now you're going to make a snout for the bear out of a strawberry. I'm going to take that and get a slice right out of the middle. And then the rest is for snacking. So here you have a slice, and when you slice up a strawberry, the center has a hole in it, which is perfect for our little bear snout. The sliced almonds are great for ears. You poke that right into the Nutella. If you need to dot on some more frosting, you can, just to glue that on. And these make, as I said, these make cute cupcake toppers, but also a really fun after-school activity that doubles as a snack. And because you're using fruit and nuts, and you can use peanut butter instead of Nutella, it could be a really healthy snack. And for the nose, I'm going to take a chocolate chip and put it pointy side down into the snout and just press it flat. So now you have your snout ready. Then I'm going to take 2 more almond slices and I'm going to put them underneath the snout for the eyes. You see how I slide that right underneath? And another for the other eye. And you're sliding it behind the strawberry snout. And then for the pupils of the eye, some mini chocolate chips. And you know, you don't have to use strawberries. Banana slices work really well and are super yummy as well. Look how cute and look how easy that was. Our strawberry is ready for a cupcake, I think, so. Look how cute that is. I love this strawberry cupcake topper. I love using materials from the supermarket to make something special to put on my kids' cake. And they're perfect for birthdays and all kinds of holidays. Have fun getting creative with this.